Hi, friends. This is Caitlin. I'm so excited that you are back, that we are back. I see Virginia checking in already. Hey, how are you? This week, we are going to have some fun making some Hap-Bee cards using the Hap-Bee birthday. No, sorry, it's just Hap-Bee stamp set, which let me give you a little peek. Looks like this. So it's all these adorable little bears dressed up as bees. Hey, Heather, so cute. I absolutely love them, and I didn't get to use them when they came out. So I thought it would be fun to pull them out today and make some really fun, springy, summery, happy birthday cards. And we're going to add in a little foiling because we did a lot of foiling, then we took a little break last week, and now I'm feeling the need for some different kind of shine. So we're going to jump right back in. I see Heather, Anita, Mary. So excited. So yeah, let me go ahead and flip you guys to, there we go, our overhead. So I have everything laid out here already. Before we jump all the way in, I just want to give you guys a heads up in case you're newer tuning in. I'm having an allergic reaction on my nails. And so for the next couple months, my nails are not going to look great. I just need you to go with me on this. I will do my best to keep them as good as I can, but right now it's important that I not put color polish on them. So just bear with me, and I appreciate you. So anyway, we are doing these two main images from the Hap-Bee set. So I love this little guy in his little bee cap with the hive. And then this one is kind of tucked in that honey jar. I cut these two little mini bees out, but I don't think we're going to end up using them because I decided that I really wanted to use the Bee Trails foilable from the Beautiful Foilable Kit. And this is great because at first I thought I was going to do one of the honeycombs because they are absolutely beautiful and really punchy. But then when I saw it up against the dots that I was thinking of using, I thought that the bee pattern would look better. So in the Be Beautiful kit, you get this really bold white with the black outline, and the black is what's going to foil. You get this smaller, tighter, where the black is like the solid space is going to be foiled, and the white is going to be your actual honeycomb. You get two sheets of the bees flying around, which is what we're going to be using today. We're going to be using the sorry, we're not going to be using. You get in here, though, these larger single hives and these really sweet sentiments, and then a couple larger bees. So I'm going to use the bees traveling around. Oh, thanks, Anita. The bees traveling around foilable. And I pulled out some pattern paper to go behind that. I knew I wanted to use the gold foil to make my bees kind of get that black and yellow, black and gold kind of look. And so I was trying to decide what pattern paper to grab to go with the gold. And so I figured anything from the warm basics is fair game versus if we were going to do a silver, I would have pulled probably the cool basics, just how color theory goes, right? So I know that the gold in here is going to work so well with all of these. So we're going to get a really bold contrast when we pair it up against the purple, because purple and orange, you know, opposites on the color wheel. Well, purple, yellow, purple, orange. They're generally across from each other. And then I'm going to do the pink dot with the other one just for something fun. So I have those, and I already trimmed those down to be A2 sized 5.5 by 4 1/4, 4 1/4, not corner. I'm going to grab two of my A2 side folding card bases. We're going to get that dog hair out of the way. Right, Virginia? The foilable is so fun. I love these kits because then you have everything you need. kind of all in one spot. So then my bee foilable. When I was trying out my foilables before, I figured out really quickly that it going in with a bigger piece greatly increased my chances of getting wrinkles. So instead of putting that whole sheet through, I went ahead and used the, what are these? Layered scalloped A2 rectangle dies. I use the, right, the larger, yeah, the larger of the stitched rectangles. You could use obviously any A2 rectangle die, but I really think that the ones in there are just very convenient and you don't need the whole stack then. And so I cut both of those so you can see we have that little stitched border, and I love that with the like trails from the bees flying. I think that's cute. So we're gonna do one at a time, and I have my gold foil here, and you can see I have like just enough for both of these cards. So we're gonna go ahead and cut, hopefully right down the middle-ish. You could obviously use the paper trimmer too. And yep, okay. So those are gonna be good. I did not plug in my Minc yet because I want you guys to see, for anybody who hasn't watched us foil before, see it's not plugged in, how quickly this thing heats up. It's absolutely insane. So we turn it on, and then we're gonna turn it up to 3. When the light turns green, it's gonna give us a beep, and it'll turn green, and then we know we are ready. So I have my carrier sheet here. We're going to go ahead and prep both of these. So you want both pretty sides up, right? So we want the bees facing up. We want our foil facing up. Well, I guess if we're going to tape, we should put the good side facing down and our bees facing down. And you know what? I have been doing all kinds of stuff to these. So I'm going to give my foilable a little wipe down with my microfiber towel. That's just going to make sure there's no dust. I'm going to grab my favorite lowish tack tape. And of course, there's a dog hair in it. Of course there is. And I'm just going to trim off the excess because, like I said, I found that the less foil and less paper that I send through at a time, the less likely I am to have wrinkles. So I'm also going to make sure this is nice and flat, and we're going to add a tiny little slivers of tape to the other side too. And we're going to go ahead and get both of these ready so that we can do them back to back. You can also wipe them off with like a dryer sheet, and our ink is ready, or the like a Swiffer sheet. Oh, I see Heather being out there enabling, helping Virginia make some shopping choices, I think. Love that. Right, we're gonna trim off this side. And these little pieces I'm gonna save because you can get like a sentiment, a tiny sentiment out of that. We could add that to something that with our like glossy gel. All right, so I'm gonna take this, we're gonna go sideways so that our whole process goes as quickly as possible, right? Like the most is gonna get done as quickly as possible. I'm not having it touch the crease, but I'm super close. We're gonna try to go in as straight as we can. It's gonna grab and we're just gonna let it do the rest of the work. Hey, Carmen. See Carmen checking in. Oh, she's on a road trip. That's fun. Yes, Virginia, the scalloped rectangles, especially if you have the scalloped circles, they really together so well. But I just love that the regular shapes are so good. All right, and that looks very promising. I don't see any harsh ripples or wrinkles in that. We're gonna let it cool down completely before we peel and reveal. We're gonna get our second one ready to go. You could definitely do just one of these at a time, but I just really like if we already have everything out, go ahead and making two. And they're not exactly the same, right? I don't duplicate necessarily my cards, but I like that they kind of just go together. Started to get nervous. Has anybody ever had a laminator where it like sucked up in? That's me. It happened to me all the time. So now anytime that I like don't see this carrier sheet coming out, I panic, but Mink doesn't really have that. It's just my own laminator PTSD. So yes, Jay, Pink and Mean has their own branded mini mink, the Pink Mink in pink and gold. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and unplug that so it can cool off. We'll let our second panel, that one definitely doesn't have wrinkles. Oh, I'm so excited. I figured out cracked the foiling code, I think. We are going to take this tape off. Foil will also stick to tape, which maybe next time we'll do something fun. Well, not next time, maybe next week. We can do something fun with like the adhesive sheets and foil since we did adhesive sheets and the glitter and flock yes, on Tuesday. So now we're going to get our beautiful reveal, and that is absolutely perfect. There you go. You can see that shine. It reads way more gold in person. There you go. Absolutely beautiful. We will, of course, be saving our negative sheet. Let's see. Just put it on the back so that we can put that onto another color or black and run that through. And that'll be a really fun piece. Yeah, Virginia. Virginia said she loves that with the Mink, you only have to run it through once. I agree. When I was using that laminator before, trying to like learn the foilables before I got my Mink in the mail, my laminator, I could run it through like 3 times and it didn't work right. So I think I just had a crappy laminator though. That off into my tiny trash can. All right. And there is our second little bee background. Right, they are beautiful, Mary. I love them. All right, let's get our card bases started and then we'll jump over to our coloring, I think. I already went ahead and stamped one of the sentiments twice, I guess I should say. And I die cut them from the extra large banner dies, which I don't think I put in the description. I'm going to have to go back in and add that. We're going to do our layers flat, which if you know me means you know we're going to pop up our images with foam. Oh yeah, thin or a shim. Carmen said maybe you need a thin shim, and in my brain I combine that to a thin. Um, Also, just want to throw it out there that Michelle gave me a heads up that somebody stopped in the Pink and Mean store this week and mentioned that they have been watching the lives. So if that was you or anybody here ever pays Michelle a visit at the store, and you are a viewer, I just, it makes my heart so happy to know that somebody went out of their way to let Michelle know that they enjoy the lives. So thank you. I really enjoy doing these. This is definitely something really big and different for me. And I am so grateful that I get to hang out with you guys every week. All right, one section of bees down. I really liked the this background, I think, versus the other ones because with this dot pattern, the dots are so busy. I kind of like the extra white space that this brings to the card. Heather, I want to take a trip to the store too. Carmen, it was probably you. If you went there and talked to Michelle, that makes me extra, 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 extra happy. Thank you so much. So these are my little sentiments that I prepared. So they're both the same. They say Hap-Bee birthday. So I have a black one for a purple, and I have a pink that matches the pink. I've stamped the pink in the dress shop ink, but I lost somewhere on this messy desk. I have lost my night sky purple ink. So I couldn't stamp this one to match. So, hey, Cami. Oh, Virginia, thank you so much. Virginia said she loves hanging out too. All right, so let's Copic color our images. Thanks, Carmen. I grabbed my markers already. It's down even further. Angle you a little bit. This close up is where I definitely need that extra little bit of grace around these nails, guys. Okay, so we're going to start with this upper B. We're going to go in with yellows and blacks for all of his little hat. I'm going to start with the yellows first just because I don't want the black to spread. Yes, Jay, the Pink and Mean is in Florida. All right, so we're going to go in with our darker shades. And because even though this is round, I know normally I color so that we leave a highlight on the outside, but I don't want this to look like a shiny helmet. I want it to look like a knit cap. So we're not going to leave that reflective light kind of highlight because that kind of fabric would not reflect. And just having it lighter in the center will still give us that curved effect. But fabric kind of absorbs light a little differently. Sorry, I went Y 19, 15, and then our highlight is going to be the 13. And this is the color we're going to use for the honey as well, and probably the hive. Okay, and then for the black, we're going to do W9. I'm only going to do one side for the shadow on the very top just because there's not a lot of room to work with there. And because we're doing all of these really warm golden tones, that's why I went for a warm gray instead of a cool gray, but use whatever you have. Pulling that W9 over with some W7. Okay, and then my lightest is going to be a W5. And I'm not pressing down hard, but I am making sure that I'm really wiggling that marker around so that I get that nice highlight. There we go, and his little hat. I see my dad checking in. All right, let's go ahead and jump down to our hive. We're going to stick with that Y19, and we're going to shade the lower section of each of these little like rungs. Because where it curves under, we would definitely see a shadow. So that was the 19. 15. And you would technically see a shadow on the upper part too, but I'm just trying to keep in mind the amount of space we're working with and trying to shade on both sides is going to be too much. It's going to get lost. So we're just going to fill that in. And then I think I'm going to use my lightest shade to fill in these little bee bodies. We're going to go in with the BG10 for their wings. Not necessarily anatomically correct, but I love a little blue, hint of blue on a bee wing. And then for the opening, I want that to look like it's deep and shadowed. So like it's like you can't see all the way in. So we're going to go in with the W9. I'm shading one side heavier than the other, so it gives that kind of angled look. And then in the very center, we'll put that W5 one more time. I am mostly self-taught, Kiki. I would say that I have watched many a YouTube tutorial and I've watched many other card makers and learned from them with their combinations and kind of their go-to things, but I've never taken like an official course. Thank you so much, Carmen, for coming to hang out. I hope you guys have a safe trip. All right, for my bear, we are going to go in with the E30s. I want him pretty warm, but still brown. So I'm going to start with my darkest shade, which is my E35. We're going to shade the base of the ears. We're going to shade under that cap, kind of the outsides of the face. I'm going to go around the muzzle and then the bottom of the hands and the bottom. We're going to jump to 33. Filling in around the face, making sure I'm leaving that space right around the eyes open. We'll add this medium shade as our darker shade on the muzzle. Just carry that up, little flicks, and kind of moving that marker around. And then 31 is going to be my lightest shade. Can't forget the ears. Highlighting around the eyes, the mouth. And I'm going to fill in the little pad of his foot. I'm also going to go in with some R20. You know, that's not enough. Let's go, we're going to bump up to R22 and give some little blushy cheeks. Like he got caught trying to sneak into the beehive. Oh, Kiki. I would say when I first started out trying to get a balance of not being heavy-handed, not overdoing it, I definitely marked out all of my shadow areas with my lightest shade first so that I knew how much space I would have and I could adjust my thickness, like how intense my shading was from that point on. So maybe try that if you haven't already. But also it's just been honestly a lot of practice for me. I'm gonna make our honey jar like a creamy white color. So I'm kind of just emphasizing these artist drawn lines. She's kind of marked out where the shadows would naturally be. And the label we're gonna make purple so that it matches our pattern paper. That was at E42. We're gonna go in with the E41. To blend that out. Okay. And we can take a little 40, which is basically white, just to make sure all of that's a very smooth transition. We're going to do the honey in those same yellows. So let's go Y19. Exactly, Cami. Practice, practice, practice. Don't compare yourself to other people. If you're going to compare your work, you should only ever be comparing it against your own work. So like, look at your own progress because comparison is the thief of joy and everyone is on their own journey artistically and with their cards. And so you're only doing a disservice to your mental health, honestly, if you are comparing yourself to other people. I know it can be so tough. To not compare. I've been there too, but gotta try. I'm following pretty much the shape of my drips. I'm also adding in a couple little dashes basically here and there just to break up some of that solid color. And we'll go in with a white gel pen at the end to really bump up the shine to make sure that that reads as honey. And I also did the little bit on the, honey dipper. Okay. We're gonna go the same brown tones for our bear. Following the same shading. I'm gonna leave the muzzle open this time so that I can do the highlight I kind of intended the first time around. I think we're going to use these same colors for that honey spoon too. $31. And we'll just fill in that whole little muscle part with that lightest shade so it really pops. Okay. And then again, just keeping in mind how much space we're working with. I'm gonna kind of just trace the artist drawn line on those bumps and then add a tiny bit of shadow to the bottom of the handle. And because there's not a lot of room, I'm skipping my middle shade and I'm going straight in with the 31 to fill that in. If I try to fit 3 shades in there, it's just going to get muddy. So here we go. Oh, and our purple. Duh. So for the purple, I grabbed the 25. And this one, I do want to leave a little bit of a highlight, reflective highlight on the corner. So I'm not touching that black line. I'm just leaving a little bit of space. And I want to create a heavier shadow on the side that doesn't have the honey drips. Hey, Beverly. We're going to blend that out with the 22. So we went 25 to 22. And I thought that would be enough, but I think I need one more shade. Let's see, who do we want? But these are so hard. Let's do one. It might not be perfect, but yeah, it's a little pinkier. That's okay. You can kind of glaze with it and overlap everything else, and it'll help it kind of marry everything together. Okay, so there is our pre-highlighted images. All done. But I want to go in with that white marker. We are going to add little highlights to this one's eyes. I don't know if the hive would be shiny, but we can add some highlights to those little ridges. You know what? He could use some little freckles. We'll just give him a little upside down triangle of freckles. And then this one, oh, and his nose. They can have nose highlights too. This one, I'm going to just shine up the honey drips. So anywhere where I emphasized that darkest yellow, that 19, I'm going to go back over because it's going to help our white to pop more if we use it over our darkest shade versus our lightest. Go drip, and his eyes are closed. And I just went in with a 5, like a size 5 marker. So, but then you can see it just kind of adds just a little bit of extra detail, a little bit of fun to them. Oh, I love them so much. Okay. And then we have our hard bases. So we're going to do a little Hap-Bee birthday. And that one too. And they're definitely a little more simple in that there's like not a ton of coloring and it's a lot of white space. But I think because it's so shiny, it really makes sense. It's a good balance because I don't want so much shiny and rhinestones and everything and colors everywhere. I want them to kind of have everybody to have room to stand out. So you know what time it is. It's giant foam tape time. Mic foam face. He's still bigger than my head. If you're newer here, Sticky Mic foam face is what my dad voted we name it, and nobody else gave me any suggestions, so he won. Eventually, I'm going to need a new foam tape. It's apparently going to take a while, even though I use it almost every single live. But when we get a new one, I'm gonna let everybody vote again. No offense, Dad. I feel so bad covering these guys up, but I feel like it's weird for it to be set to the side. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's fun and different because I never set things to the side. I always center. So there you go. We'll pop him there. So we're not losing any of our bees. And then we'll pop up the sentiment too, especially because it's just the black ink on white cardstock. I don't want it to get lost. So when you're doing foam tape, you don't want to push down until you are ready to commit. So I'm just kind of setting it there, making sure that I like it. And then once I feel good about it, then I'll give it a firm squish. And that one is good to go. So cute. And now this guy's the same thing, right? I don't want to cover up my bees, so we're going to set him a little to the side too. We love some asymmetry today. Why not? Thanks, Mary. And yeah, Heather and Mary agree. We're in agreement. We like the offset. And I like this sentiment, honestly, a little better because of the color. I think it helps it to stand out. I'm going to tear apart this hallway this week to find that purple ink. That'll be my goal for this weekend. Rescue the purple ink from wherever it's disappeared to. And I have a tea roller, but you know, that would be too easy. All right, there we go. And I don't want to add any other gems or anything. I really want the foil and our cute little images to kind of be the star. So there you go. You can see the shine. You can see that sweet little bear. Our cute little card. I love that these are just cheerful. I love them. Oh, thank you guys. Everybody looks like they are loving them too. So yeah, that is our project all set for tonight. So let me switch you back over. There we go. So thank you guys so much for coming to hang out. I hope that you enjoyed our sweet little honeybee, Hap-Bee cards. Super cute. There they look a little more gold too, I think. I love that. So yeah, if you are interested in any of the items or want to check out any of the items that we used, most of them are in the description, either above or below this video, depending on what platform you are watching from. This is the time of night where I beg you to either hit the subscribe button or the follow button, again, depending on what platform, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, so that you get updates on when we're going live or have new regular videos out. Michelle just put out a video with the subscription June release and a peek at the stamp and die of the month release for June. So make sure that you go check those out if you haven't already. The stamp and die of the month is absolutely adorable. The second it is in my hands, we will be using it on here because the little images in it are so stinking cute. So yes, I'm so excited that it's June. Happy almost summer. I will be back here on Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern next week. I hope that you guys have an absolutely amazing weekend. I will see you soon. And until we meet again, happy crafting, guys. Thank you so much.